Imagine this. You've spent your whole life working 9 to 5, grinding day in and day out, sacrificing sleep, time, and joy, only to realize your children are starting from scratch, just like you did. Now ask yourself this: what's the point of working so hard if the wealth dies with you? That's the harsh reality most people face, and it's not because they're lazy. It's because no one ever taught them the rules of generational wealth. But here's the good news. 2025 is the greatest time in history to break that cycle. The tools are in your hands. The knowledge is right here. And the opportunity? It's wider than it's ever been. Think about the richest families in the world. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Waltons. They didn't just make money, they created systems, they passed on mindsets. They planted financial trees whose shade they never sat under. And now, you get to learn how to do exactly that. In this audio, we're going to break it all down, step by step, no fluff. You'll learn the habits, strategies, and financial principles that the rich use to build wealth that lasts for generations. No college degree needed, no trust fund required, just practical steps, backed by timeless wisdom and modern-day strategies for 2025. So if you've ever dreamed of not just getting rich, but staying rich across generations, if you want your last name to mean something long after you're gone, then keep listening, because this could be the turning point for you and your entire bloodline. Let's begin. Point 1. Shift from income thinking to asset thinking. Here's the brutal truth. Most people spend their entire lives chasing income instead of building assets. They think, if I just get a raise, if I land a better job, if I hit that bonus, then I'll be wealthy. But wealth isn't built through income. It's built through ownership. Ownership of cash-flowing assets. Ownership of appreciating assets. Ownership of time. And in 2025, this mindset shift is more crucial than ever. Why? Because our economy is moving faster than ever before. AI is replacing jobs. Automation is cutting labor costs. If you're only relying on earned income, you're standing on shaky ground. Now think about this. When you stop showing up to your job, your income stops. But when you own assets, like dividend-paying stocks, rental properties, intellectual property, or online businesses, your money keeps working even when you don't. Asset thinking means you don't just spend money, you deploy it. You plant it like a seed and let compound growth do the heavy lifting. And it's not just about buying assets. It's about building them too. Do you have knowledge? Package it into a digital product. Do you have skills? Turn them into a consulting business. Have a passion? Build a niche content channel. All of these are scalable, monetizable assets, not just side hustles. Generational wealth starts when you stop thinking like a consumer and start acting like an owner. Teach your kids this mindset, and you change the next 100 years of your family's future. Because ownership isn't just a strategy, it's a legacy. And 2025 is the easiest time in history to start owning. Point 2. Master the game of money with financial literacy. Let's get one thing straight. You cannot pass on what you don't understand, and that includes money. If you want your children to build on your success instead of repairing your mistakes, you need to master the fundamentals. Not just how to earn it, but how money works. Financial literacy is not just budgeting. It's the ability to think like an investor. It's understanding how to read a financial statement, how interest compounds, how taxes affect your returns, how inflation silently erodes your cash if it's just sitting in a bank. In 2025, this knowledge gap is costing families millions. We've got access to information, but not to interpretation. People watch flashy influencers talk about crypto or drop shipping, but no one's teaching foundational money principles. And the truth is, wealthy people play a different game. They know how to legally reduce taxes. They use debt as a tool, not as a trap. They protect their assets through trusts and estate planning. They teach their kids the difference between price and value. And they pass down not just cash, but capital literacy. If you want your family to thrive financially, you must become the CFO of your household. Track your net worth. Understand your cash flow. Study investment vehicles, index funds, REITs, bonds, private equity. Teach your family the language of money. Because here's the thing, poverty is often inherited through silence, but wealth is passed down through education and example. Start teaching it in dinner conversations. Make it normal, make it powerful, and make sure the next generation isn't learning money lessons the hard way. Point 3. Leverage high-growth assets. Early. If time is money, then timing is everything. And the wealthiest families in the world, they don't just invest money, they invest it early. Here's what that means in 2025. You don't wait until you have more to invest. You invest as early and aggressively as possible, even if it's just small amounts. Because the secret weapon of generational wealth is compound growth. Let's say you invest $10,000 at 10% annual return. In 20 years, that becomes over $67,000. But in 40 years, it turns into $452,000. Do you see the difference? The earlier you start, the less you need to sacrifice later. Now, in 2025, there are more high-growth opportunities than ever. Tech stocks, AI-driven ETFs, clean energy, biotech, emerging markets. But the real trick isn't chasing hype, it's consistency and longevity. Investing in broad index funds like the S&P 500, while boring, has outperformed most active investors over time. And if you want to 10x your wealth strategy, use Roth IRAs, custodial accounts for kids, 401k matching, and tax-advantaged investment vehicles. Set up an automatic investing schedule so your emotions don't sabotage your future. The wealthy don't guess, they systemize. And they protect those investments with insurance, LLCs, and family trusts to shield the wealth from lawsuits, taxes, and mismanagement. Remember this, a dollar saved is good, a dollar invested is better. But a dollar that grows over generations? That's legacy. Point 4. Build a wealth ecosystem, not just wealth streams. Here's something most people miss. Wealth isn't about having multiple income streams. It's about building an interconnected system that feeds itself. Let me explain. Imagine you have a small online business that sells digital products. Now, that's one stream. But what if the profit from that business is invested in real estate, and that real estate generates rental income? Now you're using business A to fund asset B, but it doesn't stop there. You could then use the cash flow from those properties to invest in dividend-paying stocks. Those dividends? They cover your life insurance premiums. Your life insurance? It's structured as a wealth-preserving vehicle inside a trust. And that trust? It's designed to protect your assets and legally reduce estate taxes when it's passed down to your children. See what happened? It's no longer just multiple streams of income. It's a self-reinforcing wealth ecosystem. And 2025 is the year to start building that ecosystem. Thanks to fractional real estate platforms, zero-commission brokerages, digital products, content automation, AI assistance, and low-cost trust services, it's never been easier or cheaper to link your assets together. This is the model the ultra-rich use. They don't think in isolation. They think in systems. Every asset fuels another. Every investment shields the next. Every dollar is doing 2 or 3 jobs at once. Ask yourself, are you building wealth like a factory or like a fragile tower of cards? Because if one stream dries up, your system should keep flowing. Generational wealth is not built on hustle, it's built on structure. Think like a CEO, not just a worker. Design a system where your money moves with purpose, from generation to generation. Point 5. Protect the wealth. Trusts, insurance, and legal structures. Let's be blunt. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. And what you can protect is what you can pass on. You could work 30 years, invest smartly, grow a 7-figure portfolio, and buy real estate. But if a single lawsuit, tax error, or medical emergency wipes it out, your generational wealth dies in one move. That's why asset protection is not optional. It's foundational. And in 2025, it's easier and more essential than ever. Start with life insurance, not the kind you get at work and forget about. We're talking about permanent life insurance structured correctly, not for the death benefit, but as a tax-advantaged legacy tool. Many wealthy families use it to fund trusts, settle estate taxes, or even provide their heirs with instant capital to reinvest. Next, create a family trust. A trust lets you dictate how your wealth is used long after you're gone. You can control the timing, the purpose, the age of access, and even protect assets from irresponsible heirs or divorces. It keeps your money out of probate court, and it keeps your wishes locked in. Then, there's the power of legal structures. If you own a business, use an LLC. If you own real estate, consider a holding company. Separate your personal and business liabilities. Protect your home. Shield your investments. Don't just build wealth, fortify it. In 2025, you can set all of this up online without needing a high-priced law firm. Digital trust companies, robo-advisors, and estate planning apps make it simple and affordable. And here's something most families don't do, but must. Create a written wealth transfer plan. Spell out your wishes. Define your values. Create a family wealth constitution that goes beyond money. Include family principles, investment philosophies, business rules, and generational goals. Because wealth without clarity creates chaos. And without protection, your fortune becomes a target, not a legacy. Point 6. Involve the next generation early. Teach, empower, and co-create. Here's a truth most families ignore until it's too late. If your kids don't understand how to manage wealth, they'll destroy it. Generational wealth isn't just about leaving money behind. It's about leaving wisdom, discipline, and decision-making frameworks behind, too. In 2025, we can't afford to treat money as an adult-only conversation. Because guess what? TikTok, YouTube, and social media are already teaching your kids about money. But are they learning truth or just trends? So here's what you do differently. You don't just build wealth for them, you build it with them. Start simple. Open a custodial brokerage account. Show them how compound interest works in real time. Let them track their investments. Watch $1 grow into $5. Involve them when paying bills, budgeting, or even choosing a credit card. Explain what a mortgage is, what equity means, what taxes do. Turn everyday money moments into teachable opportunities. And when they're older, don't just hand over assets. Involve them in managing your family business if you have one. Give them roles. Let them make small decisions. Let them fail safely, while you're still here to guide them. Discuss your trust structure, your estate plan, your investment philosophy. Because the goal isn't to raise heirs who inherit money, it's to raise heirs who can multiply it. Create a family financial education tradition, quarterly meetings, book reading challenges, investing games, or even a family podcast. Let wealth building become part of your family's DNA. And here's the most powerful part. When your children understand how wealth is made, preserved, and grown, they not only carry your legacy forward, they teach it to their children. And that's how you create multi-generational wealth that lasts a century or more. Point 7. Build a vision bigger than money. Turn wealth into mission. Here's the final, and often most overlooked, pillar of generational wealth: purpose. Because wealth without direction, that's just numbers on a screen. But wealth aligned with mission, that's when it becomes unstoppable. In 2025, people are waking up. They don't just want money, they want meaning. And when your wealth has a purpose bigger than just comfort, it becomes a force that shapes lives far beyond your family tree. So ask yourself, what is your family's mission? What values do you want your money to stand for? Maybe it's education. Maybe it's entrepreneurship. Maybe it's community service, faith, or freedom. Whatever it is, tie your wealth to that mission. Create a family foundation. Sponsor scholarships. Invest in socially responsible companies. Fund causes you care about. Let your children see that wealth isn't just for spending, it's for solving problems. And here's what happens when you do that. Your family doesn't just inherit money, they inherit identity. They know who they are, where they come from, and what they stand for. And that kind of clarity? That's priceless. The truth is, generational wealth that's only focused on numbers will eventually be misused or misunderstood. But wealth that's grounded in mission will be protected, honored, and multiplied. So build your financial plan, but also build your family creed. Write your purpose. Share it often. Let it guide your decisions. Because a wealthy family with no vision drifts apart, but a wealthy family with a shared mission moves mountains together. So here we are. You've just taken in the 7 pillars, the mindsets, systems, and strategies that the wealthy have quietly used for generations, while most people stay stuck, repeating the same financial struggles decade after decade. But now the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it sit in your memory like just another video? Or will this be the moment, the turning point, the spark, where everything changes? Because remember this, you don't need to be born into wealth to build it. You just need the courage to start and the discipline to stay with it. One step, one system, one decision at a time. Start the trust. Set the automatic investments. Have the money talk with your kids. Build the system, not just the hustle. And most of all, build a legacy that outlives you. If this video moved you, don't scroll away. Hit subscribe right now. This channel is built for action takers, for builders, for families who want to rise and stay risen. We drop real financial wisdom every single week. No fluff, no hype, just strategies that work. And if you're serious about turning small money into a lasting legacy, click on the next video. The harsh truth about compound interest, why it fails without big money, and how to beat the system. Because knowing how to grow wealth is good, but knowing why most people fail at it, that's power. This is your moment, not just to change your life, but to change your last name's meaning forever. We'll see you in the next one.